A very good morning to all my Indian friends, and a very good evening to all my Indian friends, and a very good morning to all my US friends. Can I get a quick hi from everyone just to make sure that we guys are connected? Anil, Ganeshan, Albert, perfect. So we guys are connected. Okay, this is Sushobit, and today I'll be taking your webinar. So just to brief out about myself, I have a rich, good, I can say about 10 plus years of experience in automation. It was in web services, XML, UI, non-functional API-based automation, mainframe automation, and image recognition. Okay, so I'm working in Selenium for last almost 4 to 5 years. So I've seen the complete. I've tasted all the flavors of Selenium, right? So that's what I'm here today to share my experience with you guys and to let you know what career opportunities, what you can have it if you go with Selenium. Okay, it's not about only career as far as if I talk about like from the knowledge point of view, it's very good. Okay, so fine, Shaila, Naresh, good to go. So right now I can see the audience is good. It's more than 100 people. And it's still increasing. So getting one-on-one introduction, I don't think so it's the right place. So I think it's good time to start, right? Can I get a quick confirmation from everyone? Makes sense, right? Yes. So we are here to see what exactly the automation is. Okay, today's our objective is that only. So rather than diverting from the point. So I'll be starting what exactly the automation is, a small picture of manual automation we'll see, and I'll be giving you the logical breaks. Okay, so most of you will be having lots of questions. As I can see here, huge people have joined, so I'll try my best to answer all your queries. If in case I'm missing out anyone in case, please drop a mail separately to the Edureka. That will be all queries will get clarified, but I'll make sure that today I'll answer your question. Okay, so when I'll give you the logical breaks, please ask questions in that frame only, because I won't be looking into your chat window because many people will be pinging around. Okay, so I can't jump between two windows. So we'll utilize the logical break. In that time you can ask your questions. Okay, I'll give you 5 to 10 minutes of time. Okay, and I'll be showing you the demo as well. Perfect, sounds good. So let me move my chat window aside and let's start. So today we are here to discuss Selenium. Let's see what all the things we have in our plate for today. So we'll see what is manual testing and its disadvantages, and quickly we'll start with the automation part. We'll see what is Selenium, okay, and what all its advantages and how it can help me in generating metrics. That is a business point of view we need to understand, right? We'll see what is Selenium Grid and WebDriver, and there are few application demos. We'll see whether it is a Mambo based application or whether it is a Facebook based application. We'll see that. Fine. So basically, when I talk about manual testing, I know most of you have already know about this, but that's my job to let you know that generally if I talk about the manual testing, it's like someone has to sit on the system and keep track of the things, whether things are going wrong or not. Okay, you have to log the issue so that you can report it to the developer, they'll fix it up and you'll do it. That's it. But that's not the end. Again, you have to do the same job once the new release comes, once the new feature comes. You have to make sure that the things are working fine. So this process of doing the same thing never ends. Correct? Can I get a quick confirmation for this? So the only pain point what we have, the things what we have already done, still we are keep doing it, right? Naresh? That's the pain point, right? That's the only pain, that's the major pain point I can say. Okay, other than this we can do many things, but why the companies, why everyone, why the clients are looking for automation? Because of that only. They don't want to spend more money, they want to be time to market. If they hire more resources, definitely that means they have to spend more money. So everyone is looking for the shortcuts, right? So this to save the money, and they should be time to market, and they should give a good delivery, right? So once you do the automation, that's okay. In what all the sectors we can apply automation, that is very important. Okay, so when you talk about automation, it has nothing to do from which I can say from which tar it is, okay, or from which vertical it is, whether you have an application of finance, whether you can have an application of telecom, e-commerce or anything, Okay, so Selenium, if I talk about, it has nothing, or in general, I'll say any automation tool, if it talks about web, it has nothing to do with the vertical from which the application has been deployed or how it is doing the business. It needs only one thing: give me the address of the web element so that I can interact with it. So there is no restriction on the web application. Only these types of web applications can be automated. And when I talk about Selenium, it can automate any web applications, okay, and with a vast features as well. So again, this diagram says about the same thing, that if daily I need to test the application with a different verticals with 1,000+ records, it's a pain point for us again, because I am testing the same thing again and again. That is fine, and in that also you are telling me to test it with thousands of records, and so that your application should be stable with multiple sets of data. That is again a very pain point, right? So we'll try to overcome these two scenarios with automation. So when I talk about this process, we'll try it, whatever process you do in your day-to-day life, we'll try to automate it. So we'll call it as keyword driven. Using some keywords, we'll try to manipulate it, right? I'll say open, it will open. I'll say close. If I say open browser, the browser will open. If I say close browser, it will close. If I say go to this specific URL, it will go to that specific URL. So what does it mean? I'm using some keywords to pass my message, right? And when it comes, that same process I need to do with thousands of records, same process with multiple sets of data. So we'll try to overcome with the concept of data set. Like same process we'll try to do with the same script with different sets of data, right? So once you do your execution, you have to generate test results. You need to do some lots of validations. You need to upload a file on a SharePoint and do some analytics part, right? And then you send it for the SME review, so that you can ask like, oh friend, can you just review it? I've done the testing. Can you please review all these processes? So he'll just review it and get back to you. So all these processes, whatever things you have, once you'll send to an expert who is SME, generally we say who is an expert in the application, right? For a specific application. So we'll send him for the review, but that process is also a manual, and it's not a small data. You need to send a huge data, whatever things you have tested. So you need to keep track of all those things. So what we'll do with automation, we'll try to do some analytics part. It's not only about execution, okay? I can generate reports, I can design a graph, I can do some analytics part which can help me in the financial analysis. When I say financial analysis means what? In the last release, when I did the execution, it took 80 hours. Again, the next regression came, it took 50 hours because the effort was less. The more regressions you do, the more your building blocks of your scripts will become more stronger, right? So that the whatever metrics you provide on that basis, the company do some financial analysis, right? Because things are going better, so he can utilize that time in a much better way, right? So this guy is saying, like, he's like the normal person in the service-based company, or I can say in the product-based company as well, that it's a boring job, I need to do it again and again, right? So what can we do with automation? In the first PPT, I said like you need to get the data from the DB. You don't have to do it manually. Today you write a query, 1,000 times you'll write the same query, right? And you'll get the data with the multiple combinations. Why not to put it in one place? I know that down the line 3 months, I need to get this type of data. Day-to-day basis, your table is not changing, your DB is not changing. Why should I write a different query daily, same query daily to get the data? Let's put it in a script and get the data out, put it in my Excel sheet and execute it. Make sense? Correct. That's what the power of automation is. It's not only about, again and again I'll say, it's not only about UI automation, it's about metrics generation, it's about fetching the data from the DB. And Selenium is an open source tool, so you can integrate web services as well. You can do mobile based automation, you can do Android, iPhone, whatever you're comfortable with, right? As per your need, in short, I can say, right? Now these persons, initially they have put an effort to prepare the script, and they have just put it for execution. And next time when they have to do, definitely some or plus minus some small change will be there in the script. They'll do it because it's a release, right? New feature has come up, so they'll twist their script and do it. So before, when they were doing 100% of effort, today they have to put 20% of effort. So when you say automation, doesn't mean that you don't have to put an effort. Everything will be done automatically. No, you have to maintain your scripts. Yes, definitely 10 to 20% of effort is needed to maintain your scripts. and automatically those scripts will generate the reports, generate the graphs. It will send a notification to your SME. If you want, you can send a mail to your higher management. You can hit the SharePoint and upload the metrics, and you can whatever way you want. Okay, these are the major points what I have touched. Okay, and even you can save your scripts in the DB as well. So that's what the scope of automation is after the execution, right? And you can dynamically you can take screenshots of all the validations point. You want to verify thousands of things. I want to take for each scenario, you need to take a screenshot, because that's the proof what you have that you have found that you have regenerated a bug in the application. What's the proof? You need to validate it, right? You need to you should have a screenshot for that scenario. So the Selenium will take care of it. It will take automatically by itself whenever any issue comes, right? So you don't have to think of, if with all these features, if you'll give me, definitely I'll say one word, that's amazing. Now I don't have to do the same process again and again. Okay, and the pain point was that same process I was doing with the different sets of data. So now I don't have to do, because the tool will take care of it. Make sense? And when the tool is coming to picture, we can execute it parallelly also. We can execute it remotely also. I have a dedicated machine there, only I'll do the execution. Fine, that's called Selenium Grid, and definitely thanks to automation. Correct? So till this point, the things are clear. We'll start with Selenium now. Can I get a quick confirmation from everyone? Okay, fine. Someone has asked a question. It will automate matic generated data. See, it depends how you get the data. Put it in an Excel sheet, whatever the external source of input you have, Hardik, you can pass it to your script. If you are designing a framework, if you are designing, I can say if you are having a unit framework like JUnit, TestNG, right? So with that, you can have it somewhere in an Excel sheet. You can pass it to your JUnit frameworks as well. And if you have designed a hybrid framework or a keyword driven or a data driven framework, to that also you can pass. So it totally depends how you have the data and how you want to pass it to your script. It can be in an Excel sheet, it can be in a DB, it can be in a text file. So the way you want to pass it to your framework is more important. I can have my food in plate, I can have my food in a bowl, I can have my food, I can get it from the fridge also. Okay, so I have the eatable thing in many places, but at the end it has to go inside my mouth only, right? So I can get it from the bowl, I can get it from the kitchen, I can get it from the fridge, whether I can get it from the shop. I am getting the food, that's the data. From wherever you are getting it, whether it's a text file, CSV, encrypted data, decrypted data, junk data, it's your responsibility to get it out so that your third person can understand, right? Hardik, make sense? Perfect. So thanks all. Okay, I'll give you a quick, okay, fine. I'm giving you 5 minutes of break. Let's see what all the questions you have. Please don't jump to the Selenium directly. Whatever discussions we have till then, that we'll take up. Okay, so I'm giving you 5 minutes of break. So Deepika says, do we need to have programming knowledge? Yes, definitely you need to have. But the next question comes, do I need to be an expert in the programming language? The answer is no, you just need to know the basic language. Fine, Deepika? Yes, we are covering, and definitely will be covering, friend Deepika. That's the even you will get better recordings and many helpful recordings as well, which can help you out. Okay, I have joined little bit. Can we get? Yes, definitely we'll get the recordings and the presentation, Rohit. Fine. Deepika says not audible. Can't you guys hear me? Career wise, what is the scope of Selenium? It's amazing, friend. You don't have to think of, just give a shot, Weber. Right? That's the powerful tool you have. If I see, when I say Selenium, that doesn't mean, I'll come to the definition part. Okay, when I say automation using Selenium, doesn't mean that everything can be automated with Selenium. Okay, Selenium is good at one thing, that's what I can say, right? Like you have Steve Jobs, right? He's good at something, but Sachin Tendulkar is good at something. Make sense? So you can't be you can't have an automation tool for everything. What is the scope of C# with Selenium? I'll come to the definition part. Your query will be answered in Anag. Okay, when I'll come to the languages part, it will be more clear. I think because in my PPT the C# is not written, that's the reason you ask. Yes, it is language independent. Okay. Can integrate Selenium WebDriver with JMeter? Yeah, that's a very good question. Let me share with everyone. Hi Rajan, can integrate Selenium WebDriver with JMeter? See friend, JMeter is basically, it's a tool, okay, which is used for performance testing, right? So if JMeter provides you an API to do it, see, both are two different things. To be very frank, JMeter is a tool which used to do a performance testing in the back end, and Selenium is used to automate UI. So if you want to integrate it, so the answer is that if JMeter is providing you an API so that you can interact with it, definitely yes. Fine, Arvind? Okay. I think it was a good discussion. Let me go back to the PPT because I don't want to get into the more technical. We'll cover the technical part first and then we'll get into the more detail so that it makes sense, right? Without having a technical discussion and directly jumping to the question. So I'm moving the chat window aside. Please listen it very carefully. I'm not looking into the chat window, so there is no point, right? Let's see in the PPT part. So when I say what is Selenium? So Selenium is basically means, the only definition what we have for Selenium is it is used to automate web applications. That's it. Other than this, if anyone tells you anything, that's going to be the features of Selenium, not the definition of Selenium. Okay, always remember. And second point, is Selenium a tool? The answer is no. Selenium is not a tool. It's a Java based API. It's a client library. The client library can be in Ruby, Python, Perl, C#, Java. So here I can see the C# is missing. So just to add one point here, that yes, C# is also there, right? So C# also plays a very big role. Java definitely will be playing a very big role because that's a master of all the programming languages, and Ruby. Okay, Python and Perl and JavaScript all will be working, but the point is that the support for the third-party APIs is very less. Right? You should, if you want to integrate, take help of any other language or any other feature. It's very difficult to integrate it. But yes, they all are used if you talk about in terms of UI based automation. Okay, again, the very good feature. So this proves that it's a language independent. You can use any language whichever you are comfortable with. So these are the most. We have thousands of languages, I accept, but we need to deal with the popular languages with which the industry is working, right? It supports almost all the operating systems. So when I say it supports all the operating system, means that the script what you have written in Windows will work for Mac, and the script what you have written in Mac will work for Linux or Unix or Red Hat, right? So it's not that for each operating system you need to write it. The only thing what you need to have, the client library should be common. Right? If you have written in Java, make sure that the Mac is also having JRE/JDK installed. If you have written a script in Ruby, make sure that the Ruby package is installed. If you have written a code in C#, make sure that the VB is there. Right? That's the only requirement. Correct? And it supports almost all the browsers, so you can easily do cross-browser testing. Make sense? The definition is clear to everyone. The feature of Selenium is clear to everyone. Can I get a quick confirmation? So I want to spend more time on the the demo part, so that we can get the more benefit out of this, right? So the advantage what we have is that, yes, this is a very good advantage, right? The time to market is very difficult. Actually, it is very challenging. People have to go in the weekends. That's the very real-time scenario I can say. They have to screw up their weekends, and it's a lengthy process, right? If you go with manual testing, but that so far till date, many companies are going with this process only because they don't have a skilled resource for automation. That is the only thing. Now we have automation in market. Now everything is there, but the point, again, the problem is that we don't have a skilled resource for the automation who can do end-to-end automation. You can achieve unattended execution. That means you can lock your screen and go home. Tomorrow morning you can come that your execution is done. Or you can do your work, you can minimize your browser and do the things. That is only possible in Selenium. Even you have a dedicated machine. I have 10 resources in my team. All 10, whenever they want to execute, they can log in to that. Means from their system they can connect to that machine and execute their scripts. So what does that mean? If 10 resources at a time is doing execution on that machine, definitely the different browser sessions are getting instantiated. So the answer is yes. If you have a very good configuration of remote system, you can run 10 scripts at the same time parallelly. I'll again repeat, you can execute, actual count is 20 browser sessions in Selenium, 20 browser sessions you can launch, whether it is Firefox, Safari or IE, it depends, it's configurable. By default, without configuring these settings, 5 Chrome browsers you can launch, 20 Firefox you can launch, and 10 IE browsers you can launch, right? So that's what the power of it is. But definitely you need to have a very good configuration like 64 GB RAM and all those things. But if I'll go with the default configuration for 8 GB RAM, as I am doing a remote execution, definitely you can go with 3 to 4 browsers. The cost reduction is there. I'm very reliable because whatever things I'm written, that only it's going to perform. And it's comprehensive means you can easily manipulate it. It's easily you can twist it. That's the point we have here, right? So Google and ThoughtWorks are the two companies which founded Selenium. First, ThoughtWorks came with Selenium IDE and remote control RC. Then Google was in 2006, they were using it. They enhanced it and they came up with a new tool called WebDriver. So altogether, you can't remove it, right? The complete Selenium. So what they gave a name, Selenium WebDriver. Fine. So let me show you a demo. Okay, it's a good time. So I think the definition, the foundation is clear to you guys. The advantage is clear to you, and the definition part is also clear, right? So anyone is having, when I'll give you a logical break, please utilize it. I'll give you a 10 minutes of break. Okay. So what I'll do right now, I'll show you the script. Okay, first I'll show you a basic code. Okay, you don't have to be expert again and again, and I'll say, so don't get scared with the code if you are seeing it one time, or if you are, it's just not done after your graduation or after your 12th. Okay, so what I'll do here, first let me close this. Let me go to the Selenium official website. Let me show you what we have there, and then I'll show you. So these are the companies which have built Selenium. It's not only these 3 companies, there are a huge list of companies which are working on, because it's an open source. Second point is that if I'll go to the projects, so far till date, we have only 4 projects in Selenium. That is Selenium RC, Selenium IDE, Selenium Grid is used for remote execution, and WebDriver is the latest tool what we have in the market. So WebDriver is basically used for remote execution also, and it handles all the new technologies what is there in the market. So it is independent of the technology what you are using. If your application is built up in Java, Ruby, Springs, whatever application, it is independent of that. Fine. If I'll go to the downloads, here you can see these are the languages what we have. It supports. Okay, and if I'll go down, like Java, C#, Ruby, Python, JavaScript, and if I'll go down, you can see that it provides support for iOS driver, means iPhone you can test it, Selendroid for Android, for APM is for both Android and iPhone, and we have something called, yes, BlackBerry, and definitely Firefox, it's also providing its driver, Opera. These are the new features which is there in the Selenium, right? We need to understand this first, because then only first we need to know, right, what is there in Selenium, then we should go with that, so that whether it's going to benefit me or not. Now let me go back to the code part, and I'll just run one script. So here you will find the package. So for Java, I have downloaded the package from here, and I have created a very simple class to launch the driver and interact with it. So I'll just make you guys understand this code. Then I'll show you the framework, how I'm doing, because we need to understand how things are working around in Selenium. Fine. So I have just executed the code. It will launch the Firefox browser. Like this, I can launch Chrome. Like this, I can launch Opera, IE, and any browser. Okay, sorry, I just clicked by mistake. Okay, I'll just close this. By mistake, I just clicked on the screen. It was about to type and I just, okay. Let it complete. I have given a wait for 15 seconds so that I can show you what is going around. So it is launching the application and it has entered the details. So the basic part what I can see here is that, sorry, the main part what I can tell you is here is that it is you can launch the application, you can interact with it, right? So when I say that you can launch the application, so first you need to decide which browser you need to launch, right? So if I'll open my notepad and open this, first I need to decide the browser, right? Then I need to decide which application. So browser can be Firefox, it can be Chrome, it can be IE or Safari, right? Then you need to decide the application. Then comes your use case, right? Once your use case is done, you can have many use cases here. In the end, you will just close the connection, right? That's the very basic step we have here. So first I'll say that browser. So here in the code you can see, I'll show you, I'll take you through the small code and this gives you the complete picture of the Selenium. So here I'll say Firefox driver. I can say here let me copy this, put it here. I can say Chrome driver also. Right? In the same way, I can, instead of Firefox, I can say Chrome or I can say Internet Explorer, IE. Right? Internet Explorer, right? Internet Explorer driver. Fine. So in this way, you can launch any driver. So in here, I'm writing a unit, JUnit. So JUnit is basically used for unit testing. So why I'm writing? Because again, it's a framework. JUnits are also, unit testing frameworks are also expected. So company expect that you should know how to write a JUnit test cases and test NG test cases so that you can easily test there, whether it can be a UI based automation or it can be an API based automation. Fine. So that's what I did. First, I decided which browser I need to select. Okay. Then application. So when I say application, you need to tell which application you are testing. So you will say get. Okay. And then comes your use case. So what was my use case? I was launching this application. 1 second. I was launching Facebook because we are very familiar with this application. So we don't have to give a second thought which application this guy is taken up. So this is my use case. I just want to enter these two fields. Okay, I can do many things. Just now I'll just update my script. I'll show you how to select drop down value also. Okay, so what you need, if you say to an automation tool that I want to enter email and password, what he'll understand? He'll say, okay, friend, you need to enter a user email and password, but what should I do with this? Tell me the address. You want to send a post, you want to post something to your friend, right? Or you have ordered something online. So when you have selected your project, at the end it asks, right, where you have to deliver it. So that's the address. So when you say that I want to interact with these two fields, I want to enter something, definitely that you need to provide the address, right? So address, you will get it from the source code. So in all of your browsers, you'll find an option called developer toolbar. So I'll take that developer toolbar. If you'll right click, you will get this option, right? So here is the source code I have, because directly if you'll try to go into the view page source, you might not get it properly. Okay, you may get something like this, but I don't want it. It's a junk data, because if you can't understand anything, that means a junk data. So what I'll do, I'll take the property from here, whatever property I have. So for this field, I have an ID email and name email. Okay, so locators, we have a if you will tell me to talk about locators, these are called locators. I can take 6 to 7 hours continuously, I can speak, but it's just a start. I need to tell you that these are the few properties I have, ID and name, Mostly in 90% of the applications, you will find these two properties, ID and name. But that's not enough to proceed. Okay, what if they are not given, right? So we'll take help of CSS, we'll take help of XPath, relative XPath, and a huge list of options we have here. So here I'll take the address of this ID, and what I did in my code, I just put it here. So I just said that driver, I want to find some element by ID, and I'll provide the property. Once I'll find the element, I'll say send keys, then it will just go there and print it. That's what it did when I gave you the demo. Same way, when you say driver.find element by pass, so this is again going to be the address of this field. So this is what the address of this field is. I'll copy this and I'll come here and I'll put it. Okay, so then again you can say either you want to perform a send keys, you want to perform a click action, you want to select a drop down. It depends upon which object, with which object you are interacting with, right? So you'll provide the property and you will send the send keys. Now what's the use case so far I have not covered? I have not covered one use case, that is, along with this I want to select some value from the drop down, right? Purposefully I just left it like that so that I can write it in front of you so that you can see and get some confidence. So I want to select some date from here. For that, again there is a process. I need to say select. Give me a second, friends. Sorry. So I need to create an object select. That's the process, okay? And I need to select something. Okay, but what do you need to select? You need to find the element first. So I'll just copy this line, or let me write it down. So I'll say driver, I want to find an element. Okay, driver, I want to find an element by which property which property you have here. Can anyone ping me? Can anyone tell which property I have quickly? The source code is in front of you. I've talked about two, ID and name. Can you guys see? Perfect. Perfect, Jagdish. Perfect, Srinivas. I'll take this property ID or name, either of the property. I'll come here and I'll say that I want to find some property with this value. Okay. So first I need to store it somewhere. So I'll store it here and I'll pass it to select, because I need to select something from here. So that's what the way we have in Selenium. So I need to import the package. So I'll take the Selenium UI and save it. Now I'll say select by visible text. So this is case sensitive. So if I have some value called 8, I can't give 08. I need to give 8. Okay. So it is case sensitive. So I'll give 8. And after that, we'll wait for 15 seconds. So why not select some value from the month also? So I'll take ID month, or name also I can take. So I'll take ID, whatever I have copied so far. So again, I'll copy this. I'll go down. I'll put here. So this time, rather than saying day, I'll copy month. Can you guys see month? Month I'm copying. Okay. So I'll come here and put it here. Now again, rather than typing the same thing, again, what I'll do, select instance I'll not create. I'll just copy this. Okay, it is already done. So month, it should not be July, for it should be JUL, not JULY. For January, it should be Jan, not the complete JANUARY. Or for February, first 3 initials. So I'll select which one you want. May, fine. So I'll give May. So I'm writing as a raw code. Raw code, I can say the plain, simple, that's what the Selenium is, okay? In a local language, I can say, means in a, like I can say in a very simple terms, layman skill, that it's a raw code what we have here. So if I'll run this, let's see what happens. So purposefully, I have put a sleep for 15 seconds. Don't get confused, because just to make sure that you guys can see it, okay? So there is no reason of putting wait for 15 seconds. Always remember. Okay. So it has entered the email password, and see how quick it is. Okay. In a fraction of seconds, it has entered. If I'll tell you to enter, yes, let me give you an example. If I have in a page, I have 100 entries to fill up, Selenium will do it in, I think, less than a second. Or let's assume take a very ideal case, less than 3 seconds or 4 seconds, it will complete fill of your page. That's how the speed is. If I'll tell you to do it, definitely will take some time. But if I'll tell you to do the same thing again, you will just make a face on me and you will say that, okay, I'll do it. But third time when I'll say, you will just bang on me, right? Correct? So that's what we did, and at the end I just quitted it. Okay, so that's how the code flow went. Okay, same. So this is what you have to do. Okay, to be very frank, let's keep aside many questions you will be having in your mind. Okay, let's keep aside everything. If you say that you want to learn, you need to learn these basic commands. That's it. So if you say I need to be an expert in Java, no, you should know how to create a class, how to create a package, and you should have a knowledge of Selenium API. That's it. You don't have to know about each and everything what is there in Java. There is no end to it. So with the basic 5% of basic information of Java, you can easily start, or any OOPS language you can easily start. Okay. So when you say send keys, means it starts typing to the web element with this property. When you say, so two ways I have written it. What I did, once I found the object with this property, what I said, driver, you go and find the element by ID, and I store it some element, and then I said send keys. And the other way, what I did, directly I found it and then I said send keys, right? Just to make the things clear. Okay. Okay, fine. Someone is asking me for assert. Yes, you can do it, friend. Like if you talk about, see, assert we'll go get into the more unit testing. So to make you guys give you an example, asserts are basically used to compare your expected value with an actual value, right? So here if I'll say, I think I'm using testng, no, it is JUnit, fine. So I'll say assert equal, give me a second. So asserts are basically a part of a JUnit, which we use it. See, you can see that it is coming from the JUnit package. So I'll save it. So if I want to compare two values, so I can say hello. So the actual value should be in the second column. Here also I should get hello. So I can create a method. I can say get hello. So it's a method what I have here. So I'm not going too much into the assert part because it's means many things we need to discuss right now. So someone has asked me the question, so I'm just doing it. So I can say return a value hello. Just a very simple way. So asserts are a base building blocks of JUnits where you will be actually knowing the answer and you will be calling your method so that you can compare the things. Fine. So if both the things matches, it will pass. Fine, Leo. Make sense? So that's what you can do it in code. Okay. Deepika says didn't understand what is JUnit. So generally, if we'll talk about Deepika in Java in terms of automation, you should always practice from JUnit. So JUnits are basically used for unit testing. So you have seen that I didn't created a Java class. Creating a Java class is not our solution. In the industry, what all the things people are looking for, what all the clients are looking for, you should know unit testing so that you can do automation. Okay, what all the tools we have, JUnit and testng for Java. Each language has its own unit testing tool. So these are used to do automation because you will write small test cases in code so that you can test it. And the other is the framework. So in framework also, it depends how you design it. It can be a keyword driven framework. It can be a data driven framework. It can be a page model framework, and it can be, that's it. So because the other frameworks I have already discussed, right? Yes, the last one what we have, the combination of all is, we call it as hybrid framework. Okay. So these are the list of frameworks we have. Okay. So let me go back to the questions window. I am giving you again 5 minutes of time, and once I'll answer your all the questions, then I'll go to the framework part. Fine. Let me please start putting up your questions. Okay, what's the difference between JUnit and TestNG? JUnit is a very, from I think almost 5 to 6 years, this was the only powerful tool in the market in for Java for doing unit testing, and JUnit TestNG is the advanced version of it. Fine, I think I've answered your question, Leo. Praval, how Selenium interacts with the browser? This who is the person? Pranav. This is how, oh, internally you mean to ask, Pranav? Internally? Pranav, quickly. Yes, actually whatever code you write, okay, I don't want to get into the too much into architecture, but you have asked, let me tell you, whatever code you write, Selenium WebDriver provides a native support. So your complete request gets converted in form of a JavaScript, which is called Selenium core, and then browser understands it. So whatever web drivers we have, for each browser we have a web driver here. Before we were not having in RC. In RC there was a server between you and your browser. So your request goes to the server converts it into a JavaScript, and then it sends to the browser. But in WebDriver, whatever request you send, what this WebDriver will do, it will convert your request in form of a JavaScript, because browser will work in the in form of a JavaScript only. It will interact with the only language what it understood is JavaScript. That's the way it has been designed, because if you'll go for an Euro trip, then many people will come from different countries, they speak in different languages, but you need a guide so that he can convey your message to the other person what you are trying to say, right? But because the other person understands only one language. I think you got the point, right? How Selenium can be used in BDD or TDD, Ganeshan? I didn't get your question. Can you please clear it? Is Selenium a plugin that we can install in Eclipse? No, Selenium is not a plugin. It's a Java API or a Python Ruby API. Here you can see it's a client library what you need it. Okay, and here in the project also I can say it's not a plugin, it's a API what you have. So in the reference libraries you can see I have put all the Selenium APIs. Fine. Okay, fine. Can you please clear your question, BDD or TDD? Hello sir, an Eclipse is for Java. Is there any similar tool for Ruby? RubyMine, friend. RubyMine is a very popular tool. Even you can go with the IRB terminal also. Okay. What's the advantage of Selenium over JUnit? There is no comparison between Selenium over JUnit. JUnits is used for Selenium is altogether an automation. Is used for automation. You can use multiple ways to use it. You can't compare both the things. Okay. Why? There is no point in comparing any language. Okay, you can't compare Java with I want to compare Java with let's take an example, any of the SAP tool. So it's a huge difference what you have. Can I able to check how many user sign up at particular time? Yes. If you log into any remote machine, you can check how many browser sessions has been launched. So each browser session you can easily track it. Okay, so yes, you can check how many signups or at a time how many machines are it means how many people are interacting with an application by checking how many instances of in your machine are running. Make sense? Okay. Is it necessary that we need to add all the jar files in the library? No, it's not necessary to have all the jar files, but why do we need it? Because I can provide third party. I really like the question, Leo. I really appreciate it for that. So yes, it's not required all the libraries. You just need this library, which is a basic. Only one you can do the automation. So what all these other libraries? These are the third party APIs that by default Selenium is providing support, like TestNG, like JUnit, you will find it somewhere here. So you don't have to download it, by default Selenium provides it. Okay. Because for running script we can just use Selenium server jar alone. Selenium server jar is not required. Okay, Selenium server jar is used to communicate between you and between your remote system. So Selenium server jar is not required for communication. You need only Selenium API. Okay, can I open a new tab in the same browser? Yes, by using actions class in the Selenium. So you can, with the help of the Selenium, you can do keyboard actions. Okay, so you can perform keyboard actions using Selenium. This is possible. You can handle your mouse and keyboards also using Selenium. Okay, will you cover parameterization in today's session? See, we are not going too much into the JUnit testing part. That's not our aim, but definitely if the new sessions are coming on JUnit, I'll cover that. Fine, Kiran? So the main objective, the next objective what we have for today is frameworks. Okay, so I can go into parameterization again. It's a huge topic to discuss right now. So 1 second, frameworks, test scripts, and this is the one. Okay, please come up with questions. Can I measure pixel of image using Selenium? No, you can't get the pixel of an image, but yes, there is a automation tool which I think very rarely you will find a trainer for it. That's called securely. So that is that is there in Edureka, I think. Okay, so that is part of the Selenium course. So we, along with the Selenium automation, we do image recognition automation. Okay, using images, you can interact with your application. Give me a second. Okay, so image recognition you can do it. That's the tool is called securely. Can you please tell me how to find out all the available links in a web page? By writing a relative XPath. Right now I'm not going, I won't be writing a code and doing it, but yes, I can tell you that how to do it. You can write a relative XPath. In that you can just say, okay, let me show you here. I have a console here. I'll say $X. There is a shortcut way to interact with it, and double quotation, double slash, I can say A, and these are the list of links I have. Okay, why I told you this answer apart by typing it? Because I like the magic. So if I'll show you these interesting things, I also feel happy and the other people will also feel happy, right? Kiran? So that's, yeah, so this is the relative path I have. I can find all the links in my page. Okay, so there are many ways to interact with the web. It's not only XPath and relative XPath. There is a CSS, DOM, JavaScript, and many things we have here. Can you please show how to handle pop-ups pages? I can tell you how to do it. So what you can do in the pop-up page, there is a class in Java called alert. Okay, I can write a code here and tell you how to do it. So if I'll copy this and come here, driver dot, if your alert comes, so you can switch to alert. Okay, and if you want to see the definition, I think I need to give me a second. Let me attach the definition of this. So what's the definition says? It says switches to the currently active model dialog for the particular driver instance. If the dialog cannot be found, it will return an error. And if the dialog is there, it will just handle the dialog. Fine. Do we need JBoss or any application server to host this? No, you don't need any server. That's a very great advantage. And the size of the project is also in few MBs, just less than 10 MB, or you can assume it. It depends how many files you have actually. Okay. Can we do mainframe testing using Selenium? As of now, mainframe automation is not there. If you remember, the only definition what I said is that Selenium is used to automate web application. That's it. That's the only definition we have. Okay, so Suman, if you feel like, yes, if you feel like there is an open source tool which is available in the market, can I use it and integrate with Selenium and do it? Yes, that option is possible, but not directly through Selenium. Okay. What is before after in test code? So that's a before you write your test code, I want to do few configuration, and once my test cases are done, I want to quit it. So that's the design of JUnit we have here. Okay. Can we generate XML reports in Selenium? Yes, why not? Using, I think you can use DOM parser and SAX parser to generate and get the data also from the XML. Okay, so using DOM parser and SAX parser, you can interact with the XML and you can get the data out from the XML reports and you can generate the XML reports. Where to write test cases? So this is a JUnit where you can write your test cases. Even you can write it in a Java class, or even you can write it in a Python, whichever language you are comfortable with. Generally, I'll suggest you to go with any unit test cases. And the next part, what we have through framework. Okay. So I think it was a very good discussion. It was a very long discussion we have. So let me quickly go to the PPT because our main objective should be covered, right? Our main objective should be covered. So let me show you how to design a framework and do it. So framework, okay, fine. Can I get a quick yes? Perfect. So let's complete our objective for the today and then I'll come back to the questions. Okay. So time for the break, please. Okay. So please don't ping. Please don't spend your valuable time in doing anything else. Let's understand the framework first and then I'll answer your queries. Okay. So let me maximize this. So can you guys see my tab here, right? So when I talk about framework, it means what? Framework basically means I want to pass some information to my tool. Okay. If you see you have a robot with you. Okay. So what you will say? You'll pass some instructions because robot won't understand your day-to-day language. If you can talk it in Tamil, you can talk it in Hindi, you can talk it in English, you can talk it in American language, you can talk it in Spanish, French, whichever language, but robot can understand only one. Okay, so or let's assume whatever language you speak, internally robot has a library, it will try to convert it and then it will perform. So if you want to make him work or if you want him to do something, you will pass some instructions. Okay, same way framework is also like that. I think, do I have a PPT for this? Let me check. No. Okay, fine. So what happens actually, there are few types of frameworks. So keyword driven means you'll pass some instructions. What all the instructions we have? I'll say that the URL, in this URL I'm going to test. The browser what I need is Firefox, and these are the list of test cases I have. So you can give comma separated test cases. Okay, like this. And you can, whatever scripts will tell, it will go to the specific script like Facebook login, it will come here. And here again you will say that username I have, and okay, you will say to the tool that let me increase the size of the font. Fine. So I'll say username and its value. So your tool will say, hey, you told me the username and value, but what should I do with this? You will say enter text. Go and enter this value. But when we see into the screen, we know very well, we know that this is the place you're talking about, but how your tool will come to know, right? 1 second. How your tool will come to know that where it has to enter. So you will say, okay, you take this property, go there and enter it. So what all the things we need? We need some meaningful name, we need the value, we need the property where we need to go, and I need to tell the action what I need to perform. If I want to select some value from a drop down, I need to tell the meaningful name, I need to tell what value it is, and I need to tell the property and the action. It's easy. Okay. If you want to verify something, so I want to verify what is this email ID equal to email. So you can, if I say I want to verify this property, it doesn't give more meaning, right? So let's utilize the comment column. It is user, it is email text field. Okay, it is email text field. So this won't play much role here, but this gives some meaning to my definition. So I'm saying that I want to verify this property and I'm expecting it to be present. And I'm saying object exists. So what is this? When tool will see that, okay, verify object exists, you mean to say verify object exists, that means you want to verify and you want to check some object is there or not. When I say verify contains, so tool will automatically understand that this guy means to say that he wants to verify something on the page, contains. When you say verify title, so automatically the tool will understand that you want to verify the title of the page. And when I say verify value, so when you say verify value, value means you need to go somewhere and get the value and then compare with it. So you will provide the property. So here I didn't provide the property. Why? Because I was saying verify contains for the page, but here I said verify value. So I need to go to the specific location and get the value and compare it. If I say take screenshot, it will take screenshot. So it's not end. I have a huge list, but definitely when you go with the keyword driven framework, try to keep as less keywords, because if you'll, for everything, if you'll start creating a keyword, it's a very difficult to maintain and do it. So try to reuse the things. So here I just showed you very day-to-day basic examples, and if I say wait for 5 seconds, it will wait for 5 seconds. So it depends on you. You want to make it 5 hours or 5 milliseconds or 5 seconds. So in the code I have given it 5 seconds. Fine. So scripting is clear to everyone. Can I get a quick confirmation? This point is very important. Okay, our objective should be covered. Govind, Kiran, clear? Yes, right? See, right now we have 1.5 hour of time. So try to understand the automation part, right? What all the things we have here. And how will drive my scripts? I need some configuration. So my configuration will actually drive my scripts. And here I'll provide some basic information, and at the end I'll provide the task script name. So here I want to run this script, okay? So if I want to run this script, let me save this and let me open my framework. So let me close this. I have a framework. This is a hybrid framework. So what does hybrid framework mean? Okay, before I tell what is hybrid framework, you need to understand what is data framework. Okay, so I won't go there. Once I'll complete the demo, then I'll tell you what does hybrid mean. So I'll just run this code. Okay, this is a framework code. Okay, it's not a small code, it's a complete framework what we have. So the framework what we have here is a very powerful framework. Okay, means it can handle any types of web applications. It's like a complete automation tool. Automatically it will resize the window. That's what I said. It's a very powerful tool. Okay, so I'm just trying to interact with this home page of the Facebook so that I can perform many actions here. Once things are done, so I've verified it, and in my script what I wrote at the end, you saw, right? I ran this script, Facebook login. So I'll go to Facebook login and I said capture screenshot also. So what happens, what's the time? Okay, let me open this. You can see that this is the data. What's the time? We have 9:56, right? So this is the screenshot what we have taken right now. Just now what I entered, right? So automatically it has taken screenshots as per my instructions. So if your framework is ready, please listen me very carefully. If your framework is ready, do you think that you need to write a code for any scenario? So if your framework is up and running, I can say whatever instruction, I can pass whatever instructions I want. Okay, I can pass any instruction. So it will just accept that, understand that instruction, and according to that it will perform. Correct? So once your framework is up and running, you don't have to put much effort in writing the code. You just have to put more effort in making your script more meaningful, more clear, and small. Okay, automation doesn't mean that put everything in one script and just do it. No, that's a pain point. If there is a change, it's very difficult to manage. So always try to keep small test cases, and it's very easily to manage. Okay, if any new release also comes, you can always, if in case your script is failing, the tool will report it in the console. Because if I'll come here and expand this, you can see that everything is getting printed and reported properly. So you can easily fix up your issues also. Okay, so the logs are very clear. So this is Selenium generated? No, these logs, I have designed the framework, and I have printed in this fashion so that I can understood it if any issue comes. Make sense? Same thing if I want to do in terms of data set. Okay, so let me maximize this. So what I am trying to do here, let me increase the size. Please see it very carefully. Again, I'll repeat. See, what I am doing in this script, I just hard coded my data, right? If you will say that, can you please try the script with different mobile number or with different first name or a last name or the other different date month, just to check whether things are working fine. Again, you will change the data here. Again, third data, fourth data. In this way, you can't end up with changing every time the data in your script. So it's better to write your script in this fashion, like in curly braces. So whenever, and you will say that I'm going to execute this script. Okay, I'll come back to the curly braces. Before I execute, I'll say that I'm going to execute this script using this data set, right? So let me delete this row. So let me maximize this. So I want to execute the script with this many number of these many data. Okay, I want to execute it 5 times with different sets of data. So I'll call a master script there only, I'll say. So I'll say that I want to execute Facebook login dataset script with dataset login. So you can give any tab name, and dataset login is actually the place where you have kept your data. Okay, so I'll call the master script. I'll say execute Facebook login dataset with this set of data. So I'll call this script and using this much of data. Here I can provide 10,000 of data. So it's going to execute 10,000 times. Okay, and how it will fetch the data? Wherever it will see the curly braces, it will get the data from the data set. Okay, so let me tell you the flow. When I'll say master execute this script using data set, it will call this script and it will start executing. Here I can have 5 or more than that, or 1,000 rows. So one at a time your row will be active. So when the first row of the row is active and your data set is coming across the curly braces, it will take the data from that row. When fifth row of the data set is active and the execution is happening, and whenever it will come across the curly braces, it will go there and take the data from this row. Make sense? Clear? So in that way it is going to work. So let me, I think I have saved here in configuration, I need to tell that I want to execute master. So I can execute back to back also by comma separated, but just let me complete this flow. So I'm not writing any code. I've just written the updated my script. That's it. So it says auto resized the script. So it is the admin 1, Robert 1, William 1, and it has selected some value. After that it will enter admin 2. So in this way back to back it will execute. Hopefully I think you guys are enjoying the session. So if someone wants to give a smiley, can always give. There is no restriction to that. Fine. So that's what the execution we did. Okay. Now, if I'll go to the console and maximize this, you can see the reporting here, right? So completely it has printed out everything for wherever you, whatever actions you are performing, it is just printing it out. Okay. So when I said that I want to verify this object, so it will say pass. So when I say verify contains this, it says fail because I gave some wrong value in that. So if I'll open this, I can show you that I put some wrong value here. Okay, so that I can report, I can say that it's a wrong data. Fine. Now let me show you one more scenario, same data set. Okay, let me increase the size. What I'm going to do now, I'll execute the same script, but the fields what you can see in highlighted are the wrong values. I gave a wrong property for these fields, and the data set, the data what I'm going to use here, that also is wrong. Okay, so the data what I'm going to use, the highlighted which I've highlighted is also wrong, right? February I gave April. I need to give first 3 characters. Day I give 001. Year I gave 19977. So I'll try to execute this and let's see. So in master I need to tell that I am going to call Facebook dataset error script, ERROR. Okay, and the data where my data is present there, that also I'll give dataset login error. Okay, so I'll call the master and want to execute it. So if I'll go to the code and try to run this, thanks for the smiley. Oh, just now I saw. Thanks for the smiley, friend. So it is just interacting with it. Okay, so as I said, you can achieve unattended execution. Unattended execution means what? See, password it has not entered because it is wrong. What you can do, you can minimize it. The execution will happen in the backend. Now let's see what it says. Unable to find password with this property because I gave a wrong property. Then it says unable to find mobile number with this property. So it is reporting it very clearly. So that's not that Selenium is reporting. It's the framework what you have designed. In that way only it is reporting. See, it's not able to find this property, right? What else? I have given wrong data also. That also it will report. See, it says value not found, February. Failed, value not found. See, here I'm going to select. So it says value not found. Okay. And here if I'll go, you can see the execution is happening. Right. So it's unattended, but unattended doesn't mean that every time you should move your window. It's like if the execution is happening, just minimize it, or you can do remote execution also. Right. Perfect. Yes. So that's how it's going to work. So let me go back to the PPT. And yes, let me just tell you this use case very quickly. See, you have 4,000 test cases and you have 4 resources. Okay. Per resource, if I say I want to give 1,000 test scripts, it's going to take, like, let's assume in a day you are completing 40 test cases. So I need to complete overall 1,000 test cases per resource. So it's going to take 25 days. But same thing, if I'll do same scenario, I'll put. So when it comes to automation in a day, manually, if you do, you do 40 test cases because you do it manually, right? First time. But when it comes to automation, initially you need to put an effort. So I'm just reducing it by half. I said in 50 days, I'll complete my automation script. But what's the next phase? When again these scripts comes for testing, when you do it manually, again, it's going to take 25 test days. But when it comes to automation, per script, if you assume, per script, if you take 5 scripts, if your scripts are ready, per script, if you take 5 minutes, so in a day, how many hours you are in office? 9 hours, right? Or 8 hours. So if I'll divide it, in a day, I can complete 108 test cases. Okay, one resource I'm talking about, one resource. Okay, 108 test cases per machine. And if I put it on a remote execution, in a day I can complete 288 test cases. So I'm talking about per machine, right? If like this, if I have 4 remote machines, in a day I can complete 1,000 test cases, and in 4 days I can complete my execution. I think more than my target, I'll achieve it in 4 days. Let's take it 5 days. Okay, let's take it 7 days. But still, 7 days and 25 days, there is a huge difference. Make sense? Right? This calculation is very important. Unless and until you see the metrics, things will not be clear. See, just saying something and giving a proof is more important than just putting up the things. Okay, you need things to be working, right? One second. Okay, so these are the unique features we have. Quickly, I'll just say it supports almost all the operating system. It's an open source project. Okay, so today, see, right now many of you thinking how to write a code and how to do all those things. So today we are here to understand all the features and the automation. Okay, I mean Selenium. Okay, so we'll see many sessions will be coming up in the Edureka is arranging a huge list of options because it's the audience is huge, so they'll be coming up with many scenarios and many things are coming up. It's not the end. Okay, so don't get tensed with anything. Cost effective, supports multiple programming language. That's the very powerful thing. You can use any language whichever you are comfortable with. If I'll go to the official website and if I'll go to documentation, just to show you guys, okay, again same concept, by saying and by just implementing it. If I'll randomly click on anything, here you can see it supports Java, C#, Python, Ruby, PHP, Perl, JavaScript. And if you want to get the code, you can see that it's a sample code. What they have to make you guys understand is, because one thing is also there, you won't get the complete tutorial for Selenium. Okay, so they have just given some sample code. So if I'll go to Python, click on Python. So I can see, one second. I think I need to time parameterization. One second, friends. So I'll go to Selenium documentation, Selenium IDE, WebDriver. Okay. So I showed you one code. So this is a sample code what we have here. Okay. So you want to see it in, this is in Java, right? I want to see it in C sharp. You can see the code in C sharp. I want to get the code in Ruby. I can get it in Ruby. You want to see the code in JavaScript. You can see it. So that's the proof that it supports multiple programming languages. Okay. Yes, you can achieve parallel execution. You can do remote execution. Parallelly, you can execute 20 scripts. Okay. If I have 100 scripts, so if I'll do it on one machine, per script takes 1 minute, so it will take 100 minutes. But if I have 4 machines to do, one machine will do one at a time, on one browser. I can do it in 25 machines. But if I say that all machines can launch this at a time, 5 browsers they can launch, so that means in 5 minutes I can do. Okay, so it totally depends upon your use case, how you want to do it. Before you were doing the same thing in 100 minutes, now same thing you are achieving it in 5 minutes. Okay, it supports all the test unit frameworks, and you can design your framework in keyword driven, data driven, and hybrid. So what does this data driven mean? Data driven basically means I ran the same script with multiple sets of data, right? That's data driven. And when I say hybrid framework, it's a combination of all. Okay, page model framework means page wise we'll prepare the scripts. So it's a part of the keyword driven and data driven, I can say, and you can just extend the feature using page model concept. So altogether, if you will combine all these features, the complete project is called hybrid framework. Okay, some of you are asking, how did you execute the script? We didn't understood. Actually, I didn't explain. That is the one thing. So basically, it's a framework what I have, and this is the main class I have written here in a JUnit, and I'm just trying to execute it. So when this runs, it's a complete package, complete project. Okay. So what does it do? With the help of these Java classes, it can automate any web application. Okay. And here you can see I provided the path of my test script. This is the path. So from here only it is getting all the information. Okay. And what is grid? So when I said parallel execution and remote execution, grid is that only. So you can do grid is basically used to do remote execution, and remote execution also you can do it on one machine on Windows, on you can do Mac or Linux or Unix, whichever machine you are comfortable with. You can do remote execution keeping your test script same. So you don't have to change your test script. So with the help of the Selenium grid, if you can do parallel execution on multiple operating systems, even you can do the same script, you can run it on multiple browsers also, Firefox, Safari, IE. Okay. And when I say platform independent, so any platform you can use it for execution. You can do the execution on any version of the browser. There is no restriction on the browser and the browser version also. And definitely if I'm able to achieve all this information, I am doing fast execution. Correct? So overall, if I'll try to conclude, what is Selenium? Okay, so the definition says that it can automate only web applications. So let's talk about the features of it. It supports cross-browser testing. So any browser you can take up. It supports different programming languages. So if you are a beginner, you can start with any language, whichever you are comfortable with. Supports all different operating systems, so you can have your script in one system and execute it on another system. So you don't have to be specific that only like in QTP only works on Windows. Okay, so there should not be any restriction that I have to get Windows only for it. Whichever your operating system you have, you can start. Framework development is very easy because it's not a tool, it's an API. So whichever API you are comfortable with, like the language, you can take up and design your framework. Okay. And parallel testing is done. So the framework what we have in Edureka is one of the very powerful framework what the company has created, and it can automate any web application, and it can interact with any new technology what is there in the market. That's the power of it. Okay. So I gave you a few problem use cases. That's the same thing. I think the use case what we have is for some application called Mambo, but we saw with the Facebook. Okay, so the PPT also says the same thing, that you can interact with it, entering the username. You can go to the specific page and click on any of the links, and you can navigate between the pages. Okay, so these are the companies. Okay, it's not Selenium is used across all the companies. Okay, so you don't have to give a second thought whether I should go with it or not. Okay, so if you want to learn just go with it. Okay, don't think that whether it will be helpful for me or not. Okay, so when you talk about automation for web application using Selenium, you don't have to think that whether it's going to benefit me or not. Okay, from career wise, from knowledge wise, from every way, it's going to help you out. Okay, and it's a very easy to learn. That's the very great advantage of it. If you go with any, I have been working on QTP and IBM RFT for mainframes and web application. These are the tools you need to get a license, and you need to get a proper skilled training for it, so that you can interact with the tool and do it. But in Selenium, you don't have to be so much skilled to start with. And at the end, the thing is that it's very easy to start with and more powerful than the other automation tools. Okay, so that's the job trend we have seen, okay, so far. So the screenshot has been taken from the Google Trends, so even you can Google it. Okay, so that's the job trend we have for Selenium, the drastic change we have here, and that's it. So let me come back to the question part. Again, I'm back for you guys. Expand the chat window. Okay. JUnit is Selenium? No, JUnit is a unit framework which comes with the Selenium API. So it's not Selenium, it's a unit testing which is used to do unit testing. So JUnits are used to test your functionality, application functionality, or write your test cases. Okay, so JUnits are very important to learn along with the Selenium and framework. Okay, can we open a private window using Selenium? Private window means what? Like you want to be very secure login you want to do? Yes, you can do it because it's a driver, right? It does an isolated execution. Not sure about that. Okay, Leo, can you be more descriptive about your question? It will be more clear. Okay. Not proof, result is more important. Yes. Can you provide sample code and that Excel file? Oh, you directly come to the question. Yes, I'll be sharing. Just drop a mail to the support team. You'll get the access to the PPT. You'll get the access to the recordings, but not the access to the framework. Okay. You won't get an access to this framework. Yes, the sample code I can send you guys. Okay. I have a question. Can we handle browser or OS based Windows using Selenium? Can we handle browser? Yes, you can handle. And OS based window using Selenium? Oh, you mean to say the Windows pop-up? Yes, you can do it. Okay, using securely. Selenium provides support for auto IT and the image recognition tool called securely. That's part of the Edureka course that works on image recognition. Using that, you can do it. Okay, you can interact with your system window. Auto IT and securely. I'll just repeat again for you. Is thorough testing possible using Selenium? To answer this question, Payal, it totally depends how you have scripted it. Yes, it is possible. Okay, it totally depends how you have scripted. If you have done your scripting very badly, it's not possible. If you have scripted it very nicely in a very structured way, yes, it is possible. Any other option than these tools? See, these are not tools. These are part of the Selenium which comes with Kiran. So you can handle pop-ups using Selenium. Without launching a window also, you can upload a file. Okay, you can use actions class of Selenium to handle keyboards, and you can completely handle your mouse and keyboard to do it. Jenkins will be covered in the future sessions. As of now, not sure about that. So Jenkins is basically used for reporting, right? So not sure about that. Yes, you can execute it, get the Jenkins API, and then you can directly upload it there. Okay. Can you upload and download a file? So in Selenium, there is an API which can be used to directly upload and download the file without launching the system pop-up. Generally, what happens, you click on something, you get a pop-up, then you download it. Directly, you can call the Selenium API. Just provide the path from where it has to download and upload it. Automatically, internally in the code, it will do. Okay. Any specific library if I want to do in Python? For Python, I think I have already shown here. If I'll go here, one second. I think I've already shown this download part. So whichever language you are comfortable with, whether it is Java, C#, Python, Perl, Ruby, you can take the package from here and you can start. Okay. How can we get source code or sample code you are showing? So I think you will get a mail and access to all these things. Okay, so I'll be not doing it. You will get a mail and the notification for the recordings and the PPT. What are the advanced topics to study in Selenium? So Selenium is basically used to interact with your, it's not only about UI automation. You can do metrics generation. You can create, means you can design a dashboard using Apache POI. So you can hit the share point to upload the metrics. So you have an option to generate reports in multiple formats. So yes, you can do it. How to find bug using Selenium like SQL injection? So it depends how you have designed the framework. Okay, it totally depends how you have designed the framework. If you want to find the bugs, okay, if you directly run and it throws an error without reporting, doesn't make sense. So, but if I have designed a framework and which reports with the very basic part I have shown you here, if it reports in this fashion, it's good. I can export it in a Excel sheet and do it. Can we create dummy database for system? A database you can't create with it, but yes, using JDBC or whichever database you have, you can provide the API and interact with Selenium. Okay, so database is totally a different part. What we have here, for all the databases, you have an API to connect with it. So you can connect to any database and get the data out from there. Okay, can we use Selenium to automate the running manual test cases in quality center? See, to answer this question, this is not possible. Okay, but how to do it? You can create some standard way to write your scripts in QC. Okay, so if you have a standard way of putting your manual scripts in QC, yes, QC also provides a third-party API which you can use it in Selenium and get the data, your test cases out and do it. Okay, but that's like saying it's like designing an intelligent system. Okay, so you need to design an intelligent system which understands your day-to-day language. Firefox profiling is also used to, it's like a web driver which you can use it. Okay, it's like a platform where you can do execution. So Firefox profiling is generally to do automation. Okay, it's like again a Selenium part. Fine. I think so far it has been a very good discussion. I have few more minutes. If you want to, someone wants to ask anything, please come up with the questions. So if you guys are thinking about the PPT documentation, you'll get it from the mail. No need to worry. Okay. Okay. Can we test phishing with Selenium? How you will do phishing? Yes, you can do it by getting the source code of the page and do it. Okay, so specifically if you want to do phishing testing, that's the first time I have seen this question. To be very frank, I'm not joking. First time someone asked me this question. Yes, you can get the page source. So Selenium provides you an option to get the page source and you can check, validate the things, whether it's an invalid request or a valid request. Just like we have test-ng, do we have any other thing for Python for unit testing? Friend, you need to check for Python what do you have. Okay, so why I specifically said JUnit and test-ng, because these are the more powerful tool we have. For Python you need to check. Definitely I think it's there. All the languages has something or the other for unit testing. Okay, what's the duration to complete the course? 30 hours of course, 5 weeks. Okay, so it's a 30 hours of course and 5 weeks we have. So in Selenium, actually we don't cover only Selenium. Okay, we cover Selenium, designing a framework, designing keyword driven framework, data driven framework, hybrid framework. We cover image recognition. So JUnit, test-ng, reportings. So there are many types of reportings. What you can do a package level reporting. You can send an auto generated mails to your managers or higher leads so that they can get a notification that the execution is done. Okay, many things are there to talk about. Okay, what all add-ons required for Mozilla? You don't need any add-ons, friend. Okay, you don't need any add-ons. Okay, Ravi, you need to check with the Edureka. I'm not the right person. Okay, can we use JUnit for Python? No, JUnit is used for Java. For Python, okay, let me Google it for you. I think you have a doubt for this, so I can say Python unit test. Say Unitest. The name is Unitest. Okay, Kiran, clear? Uh, can you please send the contents? Yes, you will get it. Don't worry. Okay. Can we generate graph for the reports using Selenium? Yes, using Apache POI, you can do it. So if I'll come here and let me show you Apache, there is a Apache, whatever things you do in your Excel sheet, right? Same thing you can do it using Apache POI. So Apache POI, if I'll tell you the definition, you can see you can whatever things you do it manually, right? You can do with this. Okay, the Apache POI project mission is to create main Java APIs for manipulating various file formats. In short, you can read, write MS Excel using Java. In addition, you can read and write MS Word, PowerPoint. So it's a very powerful tool. With this you can generate dashboard and do the designing. For keyword driven framework, is there any design pattern? uh, for framework we don't have a design pattern. Yes, for keyword driven you need to decide which design pattern you do. So the framework what we have designed, we have used factory pattern. Okay, fine, Rohit. I think it's a good discussion we have. Okay, so okay, how Selenium is linked with HTML unit. Okay, thanks Kiran for reminding me. Let me do some show off here. So can we do browserless testing? The answer is yes. Selenium provides you an option to do browserless testing. Without launching a browser, you can do automation. So it's not very feasible. People generally don't go with it. So using HTML unit, there is an option to do browserless testing. So that's the powerful feature of Selenium to do. Without launching a browser, you can do automation. Okay, so always used to do show off with all these things when I give demo. So that's it. Okay, Kiran says the limitation, because the limitation is that when you take screenshots and that issue comes. Okay, when it comes to screenshot, while interacting with the application the issue doesn't come, but when it comes to screenshot and when it comes to system pop-up, then it comes, like uploading a file, downloading a file. Got it? I think I've answered your question, Kiran, that these are the limitations we have, and many things we have there but not so very popular. Also mouse click, yes, there are many things to do. Many things are there in that when it comes to browserless. So when it comes to browserless execution, you should be very much specific to the feature, not with the mouse and keyboard actions and your screenshots and system pop-ups, right? Fine, I think it's good time to close up now. I just spent almost 15 to 20 minutes because I was also interested in the question that you guys were asking was really good. So let me first appreciate you guys here for the wonderful questions what you have asked, and again let me appreciate you for cooperating with me. You, as I said, you please don't ping me. You guys didn't ping me when I asked for the question, you asked me. Okay, so that's all we have for today, friends. Okay, thank you. Hopefully I have the whatever aim you have joined the session today, right? I have just fulfilled it. Okay, so thank you very much. Okay, hopefully I was up to the mark. So once you will get the session gets closed, right, you will get a feedback link. Please give it give the feedback, because it gives me an idea how good I am in conveying my message. Okay, so purposefully people generally ask for the things, but here I need to know that how the audience are taking up the thing, so that if there is any improvement is there, I can do it. There is no end to learning. Okay, always remember. So I always feel myself keep learning. Okay, so if anything you want me to suggest, please suggest me. Thank you all. So that's all for today, friends. Okay, and you will get the recordings, PPT and the presentation. Thank you, Webov. Thank you, Shaili. Please give the feedback if you feel like. Okay, thank you. Okay, bye bye, friends. Have a great day. Hopefully we'll meet soon. Okay, with whether in a webinar, whether in a class, whatever way, let's meet up and let's share something new. Okay, so if you guys are joining with any next webinar, if I'm taking up, please come up with the new ideas and new questions. Let's see what else we can discuss, right? Thank you. Yes, we'll share all the files. Okay, if in case you're not getting, please drop a mail to the support team or the Edureka team, they'll give you. Okay, thank you, friends. That's all for today. A very good day to all my US and UK friends, and the other countries. I'm not sure from where. Mostly the people have joined from US, and a very good evening to all my Indian friends. Okay. Bye bye. Have a great day. Bye bye, friends. Bye, Suman. Bye, Karthik. Subhajit, you will get the, I think you have get an request from the Edureka team, right? To that mail only you can request. Bye bye, Sanju. Okay. Bye bye, friends. Have a great day.